Thank you for taking the time to click on Lore. We hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe here and follow us on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/SlipperySteve.
Well, howdy doody, everybody. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the League of Rolling Expeditioners. I'm reading it, so I know that I get it right. Hey, look, new skin, new faces, new everything. We have a new campaign for you. Super excited to launch this thing, and yeah, this is why I do the talking, because I lose place of everything. Hi and stuff. This is a new campaign, like a mini extended adventure, if you will, I guess. And so we got our new dungeon master, Mr. Mathew Garro, and our players here amongst us, who we will introduce here in a second. I just want to remind everybody that we have a new unofficial sponsor who sent us one of their products, and yay for that. So that's Foundry VTT. Go to foundryvtt.com to check them out. Also, we joined up with Extra Life, which is a fundraising thing for children, and that is down below if you look on the channel. So do that. Go check it out. The donations go directly towards Penn State Health Children's Hospital, and that we can run all the time. So anytime you're watching us live, you can just click right on our page, or you can just whatever. Donate, help out the kids. It's super cool. I'm going to shut up and let Matthew introduce himself, and we'll go down the line, and then we're going to show some really cool stuff here in a second.
Hello, viewers. My name's Matthew. I'm working voiceover, and I will be your dungeon master for this leg of the adventure. This will partake in a world that I've spent many years building and whatnot, and I will be sharing elements of it with my players here and with all of you watching. So let's take on over to my right, Ryan.
Hello, my name is Ryan Kosmarczyk. I am another voice actor, and I have a very great privilege. I can speak professionally, indeed. And I have the privilege to be playing in this campaign with these lovely people.
Very cool.
Joe. Yeah.
Okay. Kayla.
Hi, I'm Kayla Pitts, yet another voice actress, and I love playing D&D with these guys. Very excited to start a new campaign.
Awesome sauce. Oh yeah, I'm in the middle. Hi, I'm Chris Ferguson. I'm kind of a voice actor too. You can find me at chrisfergusonvo.com. That's it. Thank you very much. And on to Orn on the Cob.
Hi,
Sarah.
I am Orn on the Cob, Sarah. I'm just another voiceover artist.
Shots fired.
Very excited. This is actually like the second campaign in my entire life I'll ever have been doing. So second is the best, right, Matt? And you can find me at Sarah's Voiceovers on Instagram. And yeah, that leaves Dylan, right?
It does.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Dylan, also known as DG Holstein. I'm also a voice actor. I've only been doing voiceover work for about a year, but I have a bit more experience with Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm very excited and a little nervous.
Don't lie. With a name like DG Holstein, you're a fucking writer.
Oh yeah, true.
Like Lord of the Rings type shit right there with that kind of name. Come on.
Someday.
Fingers crossed. Wait, fingers crossed. Okay. All right, so let's get to the content shiznittle bam dizzle. We have a super fun intro that a few of our players joined in on, and we had a lot of fun with this, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get right to the campaign so you don't have to deal with me. Hey, thanks for the sub, Anna. I forgot how loud that is. All right, boom. We'll be right back. Shit, where did I put it?
The province of Talantis.
A lush landscape almost untouched by civilization. A prime example of nature thriving, domineering the slow-growing settlements on its fringes.
It is here that something new has begun to take shape. Creatures not native, nor natural by evolutionary means, have made themselves known to curious outward eyes.
Curiosity, however, should be shared with a side of caution. These creatures show much aggression, are exceedingly territorial, and have presented themselves as a problem for many. But maybe not for a few whose paths have yet to be determined.
Whether or not these individuals walk the paths that will be presented to them,
Events will unfold as they will.
No one is ever appropriately called to action,
but these few,
Will have a hand
in uncovering
the guise of
of
these
these
new
new
untamed
untamed
beasts.
God, I got so many screens. Okay, hi, we're back. Matthew, please save me from this awkwardness.
Of course. Shall we begin? Talantis, a province in the country of Astaroth, many centuries that have been left in the control of nature's growth, allowing the vast grasslands and pockets of forest overtake majority of the region, creating an ecosystem for many creatures that call it home. But is not completely unsettled. On the fringes of this region, the people built their homes to be close enough to the source of their livelihood, for they also live off nature's many resources. And it is in one of these settlements where our story begins. In the fishing town of Semyaza, just on the eastern coast of the Riptide Bay, clouds obscure the sun's light, but not its warmth. The humidity wafts through the bustling cobblestone streets on this mid-morning day. Semyaza's residents have already been up since before the crack of dawn, going about their daily duties. The fishmongers sprawl out the daily catch of the plentiful fish in the Castor's waterfront square, buying and selling from customers and vendors. The long line yards packed with patrons awaiting a chance to cast their lines out into the deeper waters of the Riptide Bay and earn their catch. The many bars that occupy this town's space already open, with a handful of drunkards loitering the streets with boisterous laughter. The Coutelier, the country's common guard, patrol the streets alongside this town's boatswain, their own personal guard force, and keeping a watchful eye that everything is kept in order in such a rough and tumble town.
Thank you.
All I hear is a loud sound.
I'm deleting it.
Sorry about that.
Thank you for that. Follow Bittersweet Bird. Please.
Azazel, you arrive in town from the north. The first thing you notice is the strong scent of fish, almost sickeningly so, due to the humidity. You walk through the busy street, observing the many residents about their business. The voices of conversations fill the air in passing, nothing dissimilar than what you'd find in Sarandon. Seeing the Coutelier patrol the streets brings you some comfort knowing you have someone you can turn to, should you need it. Continuing on and attentively watching the people pass you by, you gather there is an unruliness to these people. They speak of work and drink and not much else. Their mannerisms a bit aggressive, as though this is a town of thugs and not so many fishers. But nonetheless, you are here on assignment and have work to do. Can you please describe your character to us and tell me what you do next?
Yeah, so Azazel, you would see a hobgoblin man, typical traits of a hobgoblin: pointy ears, red skin, about 5.5 feet tall. Most notably, he has an eye patch covering his left eye, the other eye a bright yellow. He's got long brown hair tied back in a ponytail and a full chin strap beard, both of which have a bit of gray in it, but not much. Wears leather armor, not particularly fancy, but well kept underneath a very typical overcoat with a collar that sort of hangs down and billows below, a large pouch on his side, a short sword on his back, and a silver pin in the collar on the right side of his overcoat. And I would say the first thing I would do walking into town is find an inn or a tavern, someplace where I know a lot of these people would congregate and trade stories.
All right. Make a perception check for me.
First roll.
First roll.
First roll.
First roll.
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. All right. As you're walking down this cobblestone street, keeping an eye out on the people, it's easy enough to spot a lot of individuals that seem already somewhat, their sobriety is waning a bit, as it is a mid-morning day. Questionable. Looking about, there's at least 3 within eye shot. Let's see here. You've got one with a large sign on the front, top of it. It's called The Fishy Smell, with a mermaid on the sign that kind of hangs slightly off the front entranceway. To your left, maybe a couple buildings down, you have The Sunken Ferry, and their sign is a waterlogged ferry as the sign. It looks like an actual ferry that looks all drenched and wet and looks somewhat miserable looking. And then just past you, that you just passed, you have an old broken anchor penetrating through a part of the sign, and on it reads The Bronze Hook. So those are the first 3 you notice. So it's just a matter of, where would you like to go first?
Let's go with the ferry.
Okay. The waterlogged ferry. There's the sunken ferry. You take a couple steps down and enter inside. It kind of smells more or less the same as inside as it does on the outside. The only difference being it's very strong alcoholic, we'll say, scent kind of that mixes in with it. The tavern seems fairly full, as people are loud and screaming. Well, not so much screaming, but loud, drinking, and just having a good old time.
Yeah, sounds about right. I'll go ahead and I will approach the barkeep.
Barkeep is, you see, like a half elf with a blonde swept back hair, kind of a bit of a long pointed nose and a longer slender jaw, kind of just handing out a couple of shots to what you see is a series of dwarves just sitting at the countertop, and he's just pouring some shots. I'll be right with you in a second. Hold on. Pours 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 dwarves are just like, "Hail!" and they all smack it down and chug it back, and you hear like a couple of burps and grunts. What can I do for you, sir?
Well, I was hoping to procure some information and perhaps maybe a drink or two. What would you recommend as the better drinks on the house?
Well, that depends. You got, well, if you're looking at your staples, you got your whiskeys, you got your bourbons, and you got your gulags, or your brewskis. That's all kind of, that's all the regulars. What do you call it? The regular races. You got the humans who made the whiskeys. You got 6 different brands, and he kind of points behind a bar, and there's like 6 different types of bottles. You got the bourbons made by the dwarves here. And he points like another series of 12 different bottles, and then you got the brewskis that the orcs make. You see like another 6 or 8 bottles. It's like, or if you're thinking of something a little bit lighter, we got ales and apple ciders and wines. And he gives you like, and then he's like, well, we have another list of, and he kind of just drowns out for like a good 2 minutes of listing off all the different types of alcohols. And you gather in this town, alcohol's a big thing. So what would it be?
I would love a wine. Thank you.
Wine? All right. Would you like red, white, or black?
Black wine?
Black wine. All right. I see that you're not a big drinker, so I'll fetch you something. He kind of goes behind pulls behind the counter, pulls off a tall bottle, removes like a twist-off cap, grabs an actual glass of wine, and he pours like this black, almost purplish liquid into the glass, and it kind of swirls for a moment and places it down. It'll be about a silver for this one. This one, it's got a nice taste to it. Made from the twindleberries that we find up in the ravines and the grasses.
Yeah, I'll pay him. I'll pay him 2 silver, and I'll say, I think maybe an extra silver would be enough for information.
Of course. What kind of information are you looking for? And he kind of leans in a little bit more. Just more so just to hear and actually converse with you on a more one-to-one basis, as it is very loud in this area.
Right. I had heard that there are some, let's say, less than savory creatures lurking in the nearby woods. I heard word from a few hunters up in Bomar who said that they saw a rather large armored lizard creature of sorts, and I was here to look into that a little bit. I was just curious if anyone, maybe after too many drinks, might have slipped that they saw something so hideous in the nearby area.
I mean, the rumors of the new fabled monsters, animals, whatever you want to call it, have been popping up and spreading around the entire countryside. Excuse me. I personally haven't seen anything. I haven't heard of anybody mentioning some armored lizard, you said?
Yes.
I've heard of a few other things. Creatures that are like a little bit more insect-like. Some even more a hybrid of creatures mashed together. But these are just rumors. No one's actually really seen. I think and he yells out loud, I think the drunkards here are starting to speak too much out of their mouths.
Well,
but
rumors can be investigated into. So any sort of rumor might be elucidating of sorts.
If you're looking for a little bit more information, maybe I want to head to the Caster's Waterfront. It's usually a lot more going on there with a little bit more sanity than in these taverns. You come here, you drink, and you sleep. You might get some out of some, but not much out of many.
Fair enough. I suppose not all drunkards are the loose-tongued sort.
You might get a couple, if you know how to sweet-talk them. But, yeah, around here, it's fairly simple. You fish, you drink, that's it. Oh yeah, check out the Caster's Waterfront. You might find something there by asking around.
Certainly, I'll do that. Thank you, friend.
Most welcome. Enjoy the wine.
And I'll just lean back in my stool and sip at the wine over a couple minutes before I head back out.
Okay. As you head back out, the streets are just as busy as they were before. You start continuing down the path. He does point out to you which way to the Caster's Waterfront. It's just more so the same way you arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Zorrel. You arrive in town from the south. The smell of fish is pungent, and the humidity is somewhat of a discomfort from what you are used to. The cobblestone road is somewhat rough and misshapen compared to the plated roadway you used to get here. The unevenness is welcoming, like walking on the rocky trails of the mountains. The street is bustling with noise and conversation. Some of its citizens glance in your direction, almost sizing you up for a moment before returning to the conversation at hand. It is a very different space compared to your home and your people. The houses are all structured in a similar fashion, and people seem to do as they please here, though as busy as they may appear to be. Even the tempered natures of these people are different as you come across 3 rowdy dwarves just outside a bar, arguing loudly and struggling to stand. Watching curiously, this disorderly conversation evolves into a brawl between the 3 of them as fists are thrown at one another. Some onlookers avert their gaze towards the street fight and watch patiently. Even the patrolling guards stop and watch as the 3 dwarves just go to town with each other. But after a few minutes, they eventually stop, holding their bellies, and start to laugh at each other, commenting on how hard one hit the other, and happily go back to drunkenly chatting as they pick themselves up and slowly start to wobble away. The citizens go back to their business, and the guards move on. To you, this is a bit of an unorthodox display of violence or strength, but the gesture doesn't seem to be of ill intent. There is a curiousness that lingers, but you're not here for the people, and you continue to move forward. Can you describe to me your character and tell me what you do next?
Yes, so Zoral is a 7.5 foot tall, gray-skinned Goliath. He is a looming figure, sort of wrapped in, patches of leather and cloth, and the leather is sort of spersed with bits of, bark, twigs, leaves that kind of like make a scale pattern on his clothes. He has a battered, weathered cloak of fur and carries a gnarled quarterstaff and a shield on, a shield that looks like it's made of bark and mostly on his back. And he walks slowly through these streets, just witnessing this display. And while it seems okay, wonders what these people are about. And I make my way with purpose to wherever the drinking water or waterfront may be in this town.
Well, looking immediately to where the three dwarves were brawling and conversely laughing with each other, you look up and there is another sign above that location. This one is known as the Banshee's Whale, where you see like a chibi-looking banshee riding a smiley whale on a sign.
Right.
You hear a lot of laughter, shouting, and it definitely smells as you get closer to the door like a lot more like alcohol in a sense.
Well, maybe someone in here can tell me where things are. And I'll go in, and if it's crowded, be immediately overwhelmed.
Oh, it's definitely bustling. Similar to the bar that Azazel had gone in. There are a lot of people sitting about. There are, and even in description, there's a lot of tables littered about. It's quite a wide open space. It looks a lot bigger on the inside than it does on the outside, but there's a long series of bars at the back, and people are just sitting amongst the table shouting. A few people are playing cards. It's loud. You do feel somewhat overwhelmed with the volume, but you have to look around.
I suppose I will make my way to the bar and look for someone who looks like they're in charge.
Okay. You see a female dwarf just sitting behind the bar. She kind of just looks there a little bit bored. So nobody seems to be ordering any drinks or anything. Everyone is at their tables going about their business, having a grand old time. And she sits there and she's just one arm on the bar, kind of like looking. She's got a bit of like, I would almost say like a beard, almost like mine, to that depth. Long black hair that's kind of braided in 3 braids down. One's kind of just hanging over her shoulder. She looks and she sees you. Ah, something I can help you with, you dearie. You're quite a tall one.
Oh, yes, I suppose so. Can you tell me where does this town have a well, or where you get your drinking water from?
I mean, the water we fish out of the lake and we just treat it, but we don't have a well per se. And that and the fact that everyone here in town, and she kind of like gestures to the crowd of people at the tables, drinks liquor. Would you like
Oh.
some? And she kind of focuses on that specifically. Would you like liquor? As if you don't seem to know what it is, or she gathers you don't seem to know what it is.
Like fermented berries, grapes.
For wine, yes, we
Fruits.
have different types of berries and brambles that we put together and create
Honey.
different types of wine. Honey, we have some honey
Sure.
ales if you're interested.
Okay. Do you have anything floral?
She kind of looks at this vast array of like bottled liquor on the wall behind her. She grabs like this brown small little stout bottle, and she kind of pours it in a glass, and it's just like almost like a straight brown liquor. She kind of puts it in front of you. Maybe you could try this one. I've heard the orcs say that it's made from flowers, or there's some parts from flowers from it.
I like flowers, so I will try this. Thank you. Do you need money?
And she kind of just try it first. And she only poured you like maybe about a shot's worth. You should just try it first and see if you like it. If you like it, then I'll pour you some more, and then we'll talk price.
Okay. So ever so daintily, with his giant fingers, he'll pick up this tiny glass and just like shoot it back.
I need you to make like a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. Yes, I'm good at that.
It looks like, at first glance, it looks like mud.
Okay.
You swift it back. We'll
All
see
right,
how
so-
Zorl's.
You might be a lightweight.
It might be.
It's a 14.
Okay, I'll say there's a moment where you kind of like you get that subtle burp in the back of your throat, and you almost feel like no, I gotta hold that down. There's like a hefty taste of like water. You kind of get like elements of grounded plants to a degree, but there's also definitely something else that was in there that's like that did not taste good.
I can still swing the sword.
This is too sweet. I don't think that I want any more. Maybe I'll just go see about the lake water. Thank you.
And she looks puzzled at you. Well, all right. If you're looking to get to the lake, it's just head down the street. You'll find the Caster's waterfront. It's right off the Riptide Bay. Hope you're okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again. And I'll like sort of I start to reach out to like pat her head with my big meaty hand and just go, oh no, never mind.
She
And
kind of,
I'll
like-
just turn and shuffle out of the bar, make my way towards the lake.
Oh, such a curious man. He's tall, kind of cute, but don't think he can handle his liquor. Oh well. So you come back outside. The slight sunlight comes and beats through, hitting on your face, and you feel that subtle little burp again. But you hold it back and keep heading down the cobblestone street. Orn. You walk casually off the docks of the long line yards, with your rod on your shoulder and a small catch of fish at your side. You barely smell the fish anymore, and the heat is a comforting feeling on your scales. All seems as it is here at the Caster's waterfront, the fishmongers buying and selling to citizens and travelers alike. You do see an argument between a dwarf and an orc. It gets a little heated as the dwarf kicks the orc in the shin, and in turn, the orc just right hooks the dwarf as he falls to his face on the ground. Nothing new to you. Keep on walking, and you do see one of your commune members. You pass by Gertikav, a fellow lizard folk of your commune, as they wave to you heading towards the harbor master's quarters. To you, it's just another peaceful day in your hometown of Semyaza, and you can't wait to get home and cook up some of the fish for lunch. Can you please describe your character to us and tell me what you do next?
Orn is a 6'3" lizard with sort of beefy legs and slightly shorter arms. Orn has kind of looks like a Jurassic Park dinosaur almost, with slate gray, mostly slate gray scales, but some of the top, like fins and scale parts, are bluish, like aqua blue greens, and long claws, and kind of always its body kind of protrudes forward when it walks. And
Like a little hobble.
little waddle, a little bit. And okay, yeah. So I suppose I'm on my way home. I'm gonna continue to go home, and I don't even deal with the orc. I mean not the dwarf fight. It's normal.
Yep, you everything like
No
fist fights in the
business of mine.
streets is just like it's just a regular thing.
It's harmless brawl, harmless street brawl, and I continue on. My friend I waved at, I went,
He screeches back.
instead of waiting to eat some of my fish, I kind of throw some up and catch it in my mouth as I'm walking back.
Yeah, I'd say you're definitely like, it's an accustomed thing that you're used to, where you just like, and you just slowly chew it as with your dagger-like teeth, just kind of shred it in your mouth. You just eat it bone whole.
Bone hole. Oh yes, I do have a mace on my back. I don't always bring it to work when I'm fishmongering. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I leave it at home. It is pretty heavy when I'm trying to swim around in the water. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Going home. I live in a little hut, right? Or with the other lizards. I used to live.
Yeah, some of you have, when you first came to Semyaza, though you were from different branches of the same commune, you kind of all agreed to find a place together, as there was some semblance of familiarity, especially in a new town and with all these new people, and you didn't know how to communicate with them well enough. But as the years have gone by and you've gotten settled, everyone is a little bit more comfortable now, but it's still homely to be part of, at least with some of your family members. Most of the buildings here look fairly similar, like a stone base with tempered wood from side to side for the walls, and then a bit of like a short hang roof, or like a short tiled roof. You come inside, just push the door open, kind of plop some of the fish on the table as you got like a bit of a fin tail just kind of still flapping out of your mouth, and you doesn't seem like anybody's home at the moment. Could be out selling, buying, fishing, or even helping and looking for work.
I throw some wood on the fire, get it lit, grab out a frying pan, flop all the rest of my fish into the pan, and I sharpen my teeth, my claws on a little rock. I've got a little.
So what would be a good one for cooking? Let's say roll a d20 and add your wisdom modifier. Let's see how well you cook up these fish.
Fish roll.
Okay.
Fish roll.
Fish roll.
I got a 14.
Animal handling.
14? Yeah, easy enough.
Oh, thank God.
You
My
didn't
wisdom's not that
you didn't
great.
burn them, and fish themselves don't need to be cooked too long. And for you, it's just like, you don't need to descale them, you don't even need to debone them, you don't need to cut them up, just throw them on the pan, start the fire. Flip
Warren
both
likes
sides,
the bones because they make it crunchier. So yeah, I basically take a fish and I put one on each claw, and I eat them one at a time.
Like skewers.
Yeah. And then it's still daytime, so I think I want to maybe just walk around and feel the sunshine while it's still sunny, because I like to fish at night too, so I kind of just want to blaze the day away.
You, after finishing up your fishy skewered meal, kind of come back outside. It is still a bit cloudy. The sun is peeking through in patches, but it is still, and you definitely feel the humidity there, but you love it. Just like, okay, looking about the streets, it's still fairly busy, so you just start walking. Anywhere in particular you want to go?
Just like a sunny spot with a rock.
Okay. You head back down to the Caster's waterfront, and off of the shoreline there is like a large section of the wall that overhangs where the shoreline is to keep the high tides from coming in. You just kind of sit and lie down on the stone wall there. No one seems to bother you. I'm just like listening and watching as the people just go about their business. People yelling at each other, "Buy this! 30 gold for this! That's crazy! You're a monk!" Going back and forth. Zilri, you have been in town for a little while now, waiting patiently, observing the many daily rituals of Semyaza's people. When they are not fishing and boating out on the Riptide Bay, they are drinking and fighting to their heart's content. A simple lifestyle, hardy and tough individuals. Some you may not want to tangle with, but you're better than the hot-headed dwarves, or the brutish orcs, or even the haughty humans that dwell here. You're here for a reason, and that's the only thing that matters to you right now. With no sign of your prize in sight yet, you continue to be just another face in the crowd. Can you describe to your character to us and tell me what you do next?
Yeah, I guess. Well, what's my voice gonna be? The name's L.O.R.E. I'm a high elf. I've got a bit of high elf in me. Half, if you want to know exactly. I got 50%. And basically, I'm 5'6". I've got very very dark bronze skin, if I must say, and silver eyes. I walk very confidently, and I've got a dress on. I've got the haircut that's not typical of females. It's kind of short. I like to have my pointy ears on display, so people know that I am a high elf. I want them to know. A high elf, a high half elf, but a high half elf, if you get what I'm saying. So basically that, yeah, I've got a bow, I've got the dagger on my hip and the light crossbow on my back, and yeah, I'm just walking down the lane, you said.
Yeah, you can. Well, that's completely up to you. If you want to be walking through the streets, kind of just looking around, keeping an eye on people, or if you want to be at the Caster's waterfront, just moseying about, or if you want to be in one of the bars, that's totally your choice. You've been here.
Well,
you've been here for at least a day, almost 2 now.
if there's any gambling about, I'd like to go hang out there. But otherwise, I'm heading towards the trader.
All right. You're just heading towards the trader. Do you mean like the fishmongers and whatnot?
Yeah, I want. I want to talk to the best fisherman on the block here. The guy who's getting the biggest catches, the one who's going the farthest out.
Nice.
We'll say make a general charisma check for me. Roll a d20 and add your charisma modifier.
Charisma's my thing, man. We got an 18 plus 2, so 30 20. I heard that
30-20.
term earlier today.
You walk around the Caster's waterfront. kind of like sheepishly asking, "Oh, I'm looking for, the person that has the best catch." And it takes you a little bit of time, as most people you tend to talk to, "Oh, I've got the best catch," and they kind of show you like a series of different spreads of like trout, salmon, a few other seafoods, various of other creatures. And then it's like, I'm not sure about that one. And you talk to another person, and it's just a series of chains of everybody saying, "Oh, I'm the best one. I'm the best one." And they show you their like, "Look, this is what I got today."
Speed dating.
Sure.
Looking for the best catch.
Speed fishing.
Yeah. Looking for the best
You eventually
catch.
do come
Well,
to.
He's got a fat bass.
Well, jeez.
You eventually do come to one stall with a human male, just kind of like, he's not as loud as everyone else is being, and he's just kind of keeping himself, watching everybody else. And you ask him the same question. What are you the one with the best catch? And he kind of looks at you. Sweetheart, there's no best catch here. Everyone claims they have the best catch, but the thing is, the best catch is always what you see as the best sell. And he kind of like gestures down to what he's got. You see a lot of series of similar styles of fish as everyone else has been selling. And they're all roughly in the same thing. He's like, now, the best way to tell what is the best catch. And he kind of picks up a rainbow trout, kind of like pulls out a knife and cuts into the scales a little bit and peels it back. See that? That's pretty pink. It means it's pretty ripe. It means it's gonna cook real nicely. Puts that down. Pulls up like a little crab, and he kind of like cracks the arm off of it. And he's like, see? Lots of heavy white meat in this one. It means it's going to be a good dinner for somebody's belly. And kind of like puts it next to it. The best catch is always the best offers you make.
This is the... I liked your answer the best of anybody's here, but I must say this is not what I was looking for. Do you go out and catch these catches? This wonderful rainbow trout that you just cut into in front of me. Is this something that you caught yourself?
I caught a few of them, but I've also had a few other casters out on the long line yards, and they sold me their catch for the day. And I'm also here selling a little bit more. So I don't always have the time to go out and fish all day. Fish in the morning, come sell in the evening, and by the time night falls, back at home.
Have you caught anything interesting recently?
No, just the usual. It's just the regular seafaring, the sea fish here we got here. Thanks for a moment. I caught an eel the other day. That was interesting. Fortunately, I don't have that one. Someone already bought that. But if would you like an eel? I could try and catch another one.
No. I think I'm fine. Thanks. Is there anyone that you know here that goes further out, or like people who go where nobody else ends up going? If you catch what my drift is. Maybe dangerous areas, or just the people who go the farthest out.
Well, if you're talking about the fishers, there is a boat. There is further down on the Caster's waterfront. There is the boating yard. So some people do go out into the Riptide Bay. There's sometimes a few more dangerous creatures, sea creatures down there, sharks, giant octopus, things like that.
But you haven't heard of anything out of the ordinary recently?
Out of the ordinary? Well, I've heard the rumor that's been going around about all these crazy creatures coming out in the wilds. People have been seeing strange things. Don't know how to really take it. I haven't seen anything myself, if that's what you're after.
Well, where have you been hearing them from, if I might ask?
Mainly around here, and he kind of gestures to the Caster's waterfront around where it's like the busiest area through in your go through the town, it seems to be the busiest area, as it's where all the markets and the vendors are. And it's also closer to the long line yards that people are constantly going to and from. Maybe if you ask about, you might find the right person who knows what you're looking for.
Well, I thank you. And I pull a coin out of my pocket and I flip it up in the air. And then I like point it at the guy and I say, appreciate your help. And then I put it back in my pocket and I keep walking.
I was waiting for that. Look at this.
Right. Yeah, he kind of has like a bit of a sour expression on his face, but he's just like, but kind of shrugs it off. He goes about. Trovik, you sit in a darkened room, feeling the floor and walls shift and shake as the caravans make their way over bumpy terrain. You feel the humid air within your cage intensely warm as you sweat to keep cool. It's been days now since you were let out to bask in the sun and converse with your newly found friend, under restraint. But in this confined space, your isolated thoughts are your only companion. You wonder this time where it is you will arrive and what opportunity you could come up with to seek freedom and get you both out of this imprisonment. You hear the subtle scraping against the barrier in the cage next to you, and the low chittering that follows. Can you describe your character to us and tell us what you do next?
Okay. Well, Trovik is very big, red minotaur, about 7-ish feet tall or more. Big, red, furry minotaur barbarian in wearing sash over shoulder, no armor, and obviously no weapons. He has like a sort of like battle kilt on and is barefoot because he has hoofs, and I don't know if Trovik knows any hoof shoemakers, so that is not probably a thing. That is really it. He's got big horns and big eyes, big orange yellow eyes, and that is it. Yeah, that is Trovik. Big, huge, burly guy.
Is there anything you would like to do in your confined space?
Yes, I would like to holler out for Little Flower and just say, hey, Little Flower, you're there?
Yeah, yes, Trovik, I'm here. How are you feeling?
Hey, do you know, tired as usual. It is another day in cage. What is new? But Trovik has hope for future. You smell that in the air?
It's starting to smell like fish.
I was going to say escape plan, but yes, fish. Fish is good, yeah. This could be our day, Little Flower.
I do hope so. I mean, the last 6 attempts, unfortunately, did not favor us well, but we won't know unless we keep trying, I guess. And you can tell a sense in her voice. There is like a bit of like defeat in her voice, and she's trying to muster the optimism.
Mm-hmm. Where is all the Little Flower power that you always bring? You're always so chipper and bright and giving Trovik hope. Now I have to be your pep talk?
No, I mean, I don't think I got much sleep last night. But no, You're right. We'll get out of this. I know we will. As long as we keep trying, look for our opportunities, we'll be able to get out of this.
That is right.
It'll all depend on where we get to next. It's been a few days since the last city.
Yes.
Although, she thinks. She goes quiet for a moment. You smell fish, right?
I mean, something smells.
It could be maybe the other animals as well.
I know it's not Trovik.
Well, you kind of hear like a... I don't think it's me either, although they haven't really let us bathe in the last 2 days.
Yes, well, bathing is what
And it
they
is a bit hot. It is a bit hot.
Well, bathing is for the privileged. And we are not currently in that boat.
Would love to clean my fur at some point. Well,
Yes. You have a beautiful mane. And when
thank
we
you, Joe.
when we finally get out of here, we will get you the finest bath.
You hear like a subtle giggle. Make an insight check for me.
Inside. I rolled off the board.
Third roll.
Oh god, that was even lower.
Oh, no.
4 plus 3?
3?
4 plus 3, 7?
Oh,
Math.
7?
Yeah, barbarians and numbers.
You feel like, okay, that did it. I heard a giggle. She seems to be in better spirits now.
Okay, yes, it's good.
So, as you're sitting in your confined space, you do feel the subtle shift of the caravan kind of going over terrain and whatnot. Until it's like you hear it suddenly change and feel it change. As you feel it kind of become a little bit more rickety.
Yeah,
You do hear the sound like the terrain itself has changed from grass to now cobblestone, or rock, or even more of a refined surface. And you start to hear loud noises, a lot of people, a lot of bustling. You hear some birds kind of like flying over. You get you hear the ever so subtle sound of like, it sounds like water rushing far, far in the distance.
It's flower.
And
Do you hear it?
I hear it. I think we're arriving somewhere.
Yes, feels like cobblestone. Perhaps we are in... Ooh, perhaps this will be our next... Hey, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I hope I think I'm what you're thinking.
Yes, comfort break.
Comfort break. Well, that's hopefully. I'm getting a little hungry.
Yes.
After a few minutes, eventually the caravans come to a halt with a bit of a lurch. And you hear it's even louder than before. And you hear lots of people yelling and shouting, almost as if like you're in some sort of market square. People shouting costs and selling. You hear a lot of fish is the topic at hand.
Oh, I thought you meant like I hear a lot of fish. Like,
You know, you hear a lot of people. You hear a lot of people screaming and shouting, trying to sell and buy different types of fish, essentially.
Okay.
And you hear a couple caravans away. You hear the door open and close. And you know, it's time. He's going to make an announcement, probably, or do something.
Okay.
All of you, the rest of you, you're making your way towards Castor's front, except for you, Orin. You and Zilri are already there. Orin, you're kind of lying on the rock on the shoreline there. And you look over as you see this large series of caravans kind of just pull into Castor's waterfront. People moving out of the way and separating. You hear a handful of humans kind of like shout at them. It's like, "Hey, you almost ran me over!" Everyone seems a little bit on edge and disgruntled that these series of caravans just pulled into the streets and now kind of sitting upon the planks that make up the Castor's waterfront. Zori, as you make your way back from the fishmonger looking around, you see the caravans arrive in that same spot, but just from the opposing side. Zoril and Azazel, you both kind of walk down ends of the streets on either end. And you do see this large caravan just as it arrives in the middle of the Castor's waterfront, and everyone seems to be gawking at it. wondering what this is. There's a little bit of tension in the air. A few people are like, "Hey, can't be here. This is for the fish. We sell fish here. Whatever you're offering, we don't want it." And you all see in the very lead caravan, there seems to be a furball woman sitting there, but you see like this little gnomish individual wearing like a tall top hat, but it splits into 3 points that kind of like hang a little bit off the sides, and he's wearing like a long, like red, tailed coat, and a bit of like a pot belly underneath his elaborate clothing, I would put it. A bit of stripes and buttons, and he kind of like opens the side door, kind of steps down, moseys on, he's like, excuse me. And he kind of like snaps his fingers. Someone else comes from one of the other caravans behind with a large, what looks like step stool. Places it down. You see this little gnomish figure kind of like hop up 5-6 steps, and he's maybe just above eye level of everybody at this point. All you can see is like the tip of his head, maybe his eyes, and this tall looking 3-point hat. He kind of clears his throat. Everybody, a lot of the people just kind of like start and just watch. Looks around. Greetings, people of Semyaza! I am Nesbit Rebel Zebel, the proprietor of what you see before you. The Outlander's Traveling Zoo, a spectacle of unique creatures that comes to you. Now, we are merely passing through your humble town on our way to the capital city of Sarandon for our upcoming showcased event. And each time he just seems to get higher and higher, and everyone's just like, whoa. I humbly invite each and every one of you to come join the event. An exhibition of some of the world's most unique and rare animals, not native to your hometown. There will be tricks performed by some of our fabulous trainers. And he kind of points to the caravan. You see like a handful of people step off the caravans, and they're kind of just waving. They all look dressed somewhat similar. A few humans, a few furbolgs, a couple of elves, and they're just like waving at the crowd. The chance to be up close to some of the most predatory animals found in the wilds, and even opportunities to purchase your own little companions. But I know what you may be thinking. Nesbit, why would I want to buy tickets to your fabulous zoo when all I see are boxed up caravans? What sort of creatures would you have that I have not seen before? Well, curious viewers, I wouldn't proclaim this without giving you the opportunity to have a sneak peek of what's to come, right here, right now! He gestures towards some of his trainers as 4 of them move to 4 different caravans before signaling to the furball woman on the lead caravan. The trainer seems to the furball woman kind of like shuffles her hands around the front of the wood panel in the lead caravan and the driver's seat before signaling back to Nesbit. All right, first up, one of our newly acquired creatures, a strange animal, you would call it as such, found in the burrows of the Underdark. An energetic bundle of teeth and pincers. This is not something you would want to cross paths with underground. I present to you the newly discovered Karufik! The furball woman kind of like waves a hand, swipes a hand as the sides of one of the caravans just separates and shifts apart, revealing a thinly translucent barrier that shimmers as the light begins to hit it. Within the center, but quickly rushing towards the barrier, a chitin-covered reptilian-looking creature with 6 long, pincer-like legs, 2 bulbous, solid black eyes, and a series of dagger-like teeth between a set of large mandibles. It skitters and collides with the barrier, hissing and chittering at everyone, now in awe at what they see. A lot of people are just taken aback, and there's a mild panic in the crowd as this creature starts to begin stabbing at the barrier with its pincers and hissing. Now, no need for alarm. These creatures are properly contained and should be of no harm to any of you. Our second surprise, a hideous-looking bird, bat, lizard, hybrid creature with a temper you'd be fearful of and bite that can freeze you in place. I have dubbed thee the Cockatrice. Another side of the caravan, and a different one, opens up, and you see like this bird-like creature similar to an ostrich in size. However, there's like a curved, sharp beak fixed on its head of what looks like a giant lizard-like torso, extending down into a whipped tail. Its scaly body also adorned with feathers, and these two spiny bat-like wings that are tucked to its side. It gazes at the crowd, kind of pokes its head up, looks, slowly makes its way towards the barrier, and then it just erupts and goes into a frenzy as it pecks and claws at it, flailing around its wings and screeching angrily. There's like a few of the people are kind of just, what the fuck is it? There are a few murmurs in the crowd as everyone seems to definitely have their attention fixed on these new animals that are being displayed in these caravans. Do any of you have anything to say or do before Nesbit continues?
Well, Orn is pissed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think Orn is gonna go up and also do what the lizard is doing to the just like the bubble that it's in. Orn is also going to try and do that, thinking like, I'm gonna get you out.
Okay, so you jump off of the stone
rock
barrier, and you kind of like quickly like scuttle through the crowd and head up. I'm gonna say make an acrobatics or athletics check, as like a few people do see you like rushing towards the caravans, and they're gonna try and like cut you off.
I'm also walking very intently towards the caravan.
All right.
I have a 12 for acrobatics.
12 for acrobatics. Okay. Let's see here. I will. Okay. So you try and slip past most of the crowd as most the orcs, the humans, the dwarves are all kind of like still affixed to these two strange creatures that appeared out of nowhere. And a couple of the boatswains see you in the crowd, and a few of the trainers, and they're like, some of them they all just blockade you. You slip past one, you slip past another, but one of the boatswain, he grabs you by the tail as you just narrowly escape his grasp. And then another boatswain kind of like grabs by the, hey, what are you doing? You can't just. And one of the trainers is like, stop, don't. They're fine. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not a threat. They're behind barriers. It's cool. Don't worry. Just don't aggravate them. And like two of the other trainers kind of like come to his side and be like, it's okay, and try and calm you down. They're not quite sure. And the boatswain, you're like, okay, let's go. And they kind of usher you back to the crowd.
And Orn is just like fighting them, like, yeah! Release!
Yeah, at this point, it's like a third one comes in and like holds you down. It's like, hey, if you're gonna keep this up, we're gonna throw you in the brig. You gotta calm down, or else. You're if you wouldn't mind, please don't disturb the creatures. They're safer behind the barriers. I assure you, they are safer behind the barriers, and they're safer if they stay behind the barriers.
Stop
Anybody
this. They are safer in their homes.
Zillary sees the big Goliath walking towards the caravans and takes her quarterstaff out and starts walking like in his shadow, using the quarterstaff like a cane.
Okay.
Get out of here, Rick.
I'm going to say Zoro make an intimidation check and Zilri make a stealth check.
Great.
I think Zilri has to roll animal handling for the cat.
I got 19 for stealth. Yeah, 17 plus 2.
16.
16. Okay. Well, the exact same thing for both. So there is a bit of like the trainers themselves, they kind of just look at each other, and even some of the crowd starts to look back and see this large Goliath just out of nowhere, speaking up, and you do tower over most of the people in this waterfront. And Nesbitt's like, I mean, we found them in the wilds. They are far away from their homes. Their homes are with us now. We take care of them.
So it's wrong. You are wrong. You have thrown off the balance.
What balance?
Nice.
I do not expect someone dressed as you to understand. But these creatures, they had a home. And you have taken them from it. And you have made it wrong. You release them. And they will go back home.
Well, I can't. I'm not going to release him here. I can tell you
I
that
am
much
not
for
asking.
sure. And he kind of like starts looking at. He's looking around into the crowd, and you can tell he's looking for like the guards and whatever, and be like, Zilri, so far nobody has really caught on to you. And actually, I was going to say, Zora, what's your passive perception?
Passive is, let's see, so 14.
14. Yeah, you're not at this. You're not even aware that Zilri is standing just within a few feet of you, kind of like using you as a hidden post, we'll say. But you feel as though you're blending well enough in, Zilri. Some of the guards do start. It's not this time. It's not so much the boatswain, but it's more the couturier start to step in and be like, "Okay." One kind of comes forward. An elven man. Okay. Clearly, this is starting to rile up some of the people of the city here. What is your purpose in you coming here and showing us these creatures? We're a traveling zoo. We travel across the countries. We've been through many different countries, across the continents, on this northern hemisphere. We've collected and found all manners of creatures. We are a legit thing. There's nothing to worry about.
Stolen.
We come. This happens from time to time. There are always individuals who feel as though nature needs to be led as nature does, and as though I don't disagree, we have taken good care of our, and he looks for the word, pets, showcase, display our entertainment. And we do have a booked scheduled event in Sarandon next week. But we are just stopping by. We are just here to pick up supplies and maybe get a few other people who are interested in coming to see. So please, do not fret. I understand your concerns. They are properly cared for. And at this point, it would be ill-advised to introduce these things, and he gestures to the two of them, these two things to the wild.
When the couturier step in, that's when Azazel would start making his way. Not ready to make a scene yet, but I'll be like right close to the caravan, ready to step in at a moment's notice.
Okay. You kind of like...
Lori's trying to peek into a caravan that he hasn't opened yet.
You, from first glance, you can see there are a couple of different, slits in the caravans where it's obviously air can get in and whatnot, but like also some sunlight, but they're usually a little bit higher and along the edges. I would say make a perception check for me. See if you can kind of get a good sight in there.
How do I roll on D&D Beyond? Just like that.
Just
Or
like
you could
that.
just click the modifier.
Hey, Zilri,
Yeah,
roll
that's
perception.
Did I do the wrong one?
Nope.
What'd you roll?
16.
16? Sorry. 16. You get, it's busy. You're still a bit of a distance away. You can kind of see into one of the slots, and it looks like there is definitely something in there, but there's not enough detail or enough light hitting into it that you can make out what it is. Definitely would have to get right up close and personal to look in and see what's there.
And would I be able to tell, looking at the couturier that was talking with Nesbit, would I be able to tell like what his general rank was just by looking at him?
He is one of the more, he is more common, more of like to the general common guard. If anything, he might be the squad leader that's patrolling.
Got it.
All right. Nesbit kind of like chimes in. Listen, folks. We're here to show you what we have. If you are not interested, that's perfectly fine. We'll get what we need, pack up, and go. Trovik, is there anything you want to say or do?
Right, because you heard this whole thing, right? And you just
I'm just kind of like,
You do hear
another day in the office.
You do hear at least two individuals causing a disturbance of some kind, whether they're speaking out or causing Nesbit and others to kind of be more on the defensive.
Little flower. Do you hear this?
Yeah, I guess there's some more. Oh, okay.
It sounds like this is a little bit different than last time.
Maybe. I mean, we've come across some people who've protested our captivity, but I don't know. We could use it to our advantage this time again.
No, but I heard the one that sounded really mad. This could be our time.
What do you think? What's your plan this time then? Knowing that.
Same plan as every time. I escape and I murder everybody. This is a good plan, yes?
Yes. But we've yet to escape, and you have yet to murder anybody. So.
Well, Troy does not have his ex.
It is a good plan. It is a good plan. It's just.
Do you want me to choke everybody?
No. Let's maybe not kill everybody. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Think. Just go silent for a moment. Maybe we can get someone to hear us, listen to us. Maybe we can try and protest ourselves. Maybe they'll let us out.
Yes, perhaps we can
convince their better nature.
Make our protest display in the song and dance. Yes? No? I'm Trovik being sarcastic. Look, just start rattling cage or something. I don't know.
There are no bars.
We get out. Right.
You can bang on the barriers. Maybe they'll make a noise.
Yes, that. Go with that one, little flower. You are always the brightest one.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm glad you think so.
Trovik, don't think much, but yes, this is good. Yeah. Let's prepare. Okay. Start banging on the things.
So you start. It does the barrier for you is on the inside of the caravan itself. You know that the outer walls, they do separate, and there is like a bit of a magic barrier that kind of holds every single animal on each individual caravan within. Mm-hmm. And it's like as you hit it, it shimmers and it kind of like muffles out the noise, but it's like.
Oh, nice.
I would say, the four of you make a perception check. We'll see if you can hear Trovik kind of banging. Pick up on the banging.
Natural 1.
Same.
8.
8. How about you, Orn?
I got a 10 plus nothing. I got a 10.
We're so perceptive.
I will say, unfortunately, that with all the noise and the ruckus, because there are a few people that are kind of talking. There's a lot of conversations going on amongst themselves in the crowd. It kind of drowns out the subtle banging on the barrier.
With
Trovik, you
with
kind
all
of
the
bang for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
But all you hear is
Yeah.
everyone kind of just talking amongst themselves and things kind of calming down, it seems. Maybe? Go ahead, Azazel.
Yeah, with all the ruckus going on, I'll go ahead and I'll step forward and I'll sort of approach the coutelier, but then address like the crowd, and I will say, "Well, I think that's enough excitement for one day. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask everyone to clear out. And Mr. Nesbit,
Yes. And who are you?
My name is Azazel Starflower. I'm an enquêteur from Sarandon. I've been investigating some claims in this area, and I would like to ask you some questions." And I'll flash the little pin I keep on my the collar of my overcoat, and it's the little symbol of the enquêteur from Sarandon. And then I'll address the guard and say, I can handle it from here if that's all right with you.
Guards, the coutelier, they kind of look at each other and they're like, "Oh, Enquêteur, nice to have you here, I guess, for this situation." They kind of look a little puzzled seeing you, but just like, "Of course, you have our assistance. All right, folks, you heard the officials. Everyone, clear house. Get back to what you're doing. We will handle it from here."
I appreciate the assistance.
Kind of like some of the coutelier move in. The boatswain are a little, Orn, you know this. The boatswain and the coutelier are two different guard forces for this particular town. And though they sometimes conflict, they're both the proper authority, just in two different perspectives, we'll say. The boatswain are kind of like, yeah, everybody clear out, shove out, go back to the bars, get back to the fishing, get back to the shit you need to do. Let's go, come on. Hey, what are you doing? Get. They're a little bit more rough and shoddy, like the townsfolk themselves. But the guards do kind of like start. There's not enough of them to crowd, but they're starting to get people to kind of like go back to their business and do their own thing. Handfuls of the crowds of the town people start moving on, but there are a few that are just lingering and still like, "Oh, I want to see what's going on." The two creatures that are in the caravans are still kind of like going at it and banging on the barriers and clawing at them. They take a moment, try the other side, and start scratching and clawing at that. They give up after a few minutes and kind of just like are just watching the people in the crowd.
Now then, Mr. Nesbit, was it?
Yes, Nesbit Rebel Zebel. I am the proprietor of the Outlander Zoo. And I believe
Yes.
you've just ruined my potential clientele. But
Apologies, but if the more vocal of the crowd had any more influence, I doubt you would have had any more customers.
I mean, I've dealt with the what do you call them?
The I can't think of a word for it, but like the so-called PETA of the D&D world.
Nice.
Oh, that's funny.
I've dealt with the animal advocates in different locations before. Yes, they're all just hot air and speech, but I've never had any issues before. So not to worry.
Well, sure. Well, I am not here to question the morals or the legality of having these animals. I just wanted to ask you some questions, being an expert in sorts of exotic beasts, and I'll pull out a little notebook from my breast pocket in my overcoat, and I'll flip through a page for a statement that I took from a hunter. I was just curious, I suppose, if you had encountered any sort of 15-foot tall creature, looks approximately to be a lizard folk, brownish, armored carapace, about 3 large horns, some sort of large protruding jaw, peachy colored, anything like that you might have encountered.
No, but it sounds like a great attraction for my zoo.
That's what I was afraid of. That's a sort of one of those new beasts that I'm sure you've heard around this area, people have heard, and I'm sure that's why you came down here to see if you could find any more attractions.
Well, no, like I said to the crowd, we're here just passing through to get to Sarandon. We have an event, an exhibition next week. We need to make it there on time. We're performing for the people there. It's all scheduled and everything. If you're one of those officials, then I'm sure you would know this. Or maybe you can ask someone down the chain of command and they'll tell you otherwise. It was approved.
Oh, I don't doubt. I don't doubt that. I imagine you are very above board with scheduling. I don't usually do event security myself, but being that, as I'm down here to investigate particular curious beasts, I was wondering if I could maybe take a look at the curios you have in this caravan.
All right, sure. I mean, why not? Why not? I was going to show a few more anyways. He kind of he starts to gesture to the furball woman. Okay. Then he starts hobbling down the few steps that kind of put him maybe at about the top of his head. Not so much the brim of the hat, but the top of his head is just like maybe around your chin, and then he goes down and he's like maybe shin high to you, maybe knee high to you. Felice, open him up, but keep the barriers. Make sure we don't any of them get out. The inspector here would like to see all the animals. And they all kind of just nod. All right, boys and girls. Stand about, face, make sure. Each one to your caravan. You know the drill. Come now. Pretend like it's feeding hour. So the furball woman goes back to the console. Kind of like, you see her hand shift every few seconds. And each of the trainers, there's at least one per caravan. There's a couple of extras that are kind of lingering about, staying nearby, and helping almost being like a secondary barrier. There's maybe about 4 of them, being like a secondary barrier between the caravans and the guards who are still kind of shooing people away. You see each one slowly, like the sliding bars or the sliding walls on the caravans each open up. You see a lot of different creatures. Some not native to this country at all. Some a little bit more bigger than what you'd expect. So like some of them are general animals. Like you do see like an elephant, you see a tiger, a panther, a large black bear. Then you get into some certain things like you see a large constrictor snake that's like orange and green and blue and purple and multicolored scales all around its body, and it's like it's almost half the size of the caravan itself within its confinement. It's very big. There's also a giant scorpion as well that's kind of like, it's brown with a reddish tail, and it's kind of just sitting. It's not on its appendages, but it's just sitting there with the claws wrapped within itself, and you can kind of see the little beady eyes on its carapace head, kind of just looking over top, with the tail kind of just swinging in the back and just looking out into the crowd. You see a rhinoceros. You see a fairly large wolf, a little bit bigger than the natural wolves, the natural sized wolf, but this one's kind of like got black matted fur. Almost smoky, a smoky gray tinge with it, and there are almost like stripes of yellow patches along its face and into its back, and within those little patches, it almost looks like spines coming out of them. Mm-hmm. There's in one caravan a giant octopus, larger than most, and a couple people kind of like, hey, look at that! That thing's huge! Oh man, if I were to catch something like that, I'd be able to eat for a week. It's just kind of like the suction cups in the arms are kind of just like sticking to the bear, and it kind of just shimmers and it's like sliding along. There is also a fairly large spider, almost in the same size as the scorpion. There's a lion. There's an ape. There is a familiar bird to the area called the axebeak. It kind of looks like a small dodo. It kind of looks like a larger dodo, and its beak itself actually does split. It tapers at its front, and does actually look like a bit of an axe, but it does open up, and it's kind of like a little spined beak. A few green-looking feathers, but the wings are so stubby and small, and it doesn't have the ability to fly. There's a giant frog. There's a panther. There is the Kruthic.
that he showed off, the cockatrice, and not the last two, but two that you notice, which catch you a little off guard. The first one is what looks like a lion, but humanoid in shape, wearing a faded red tabard and nothing else, just kind of sitting up against the back wall. And she has the expression and physique of a young female woman. And she kind of just looks out into the crowd and at the people as Azazel, you're walking by and you look up. She doesn't say much, but you can sense there's something amiss about her. You move on to the next one. You see a minotaur, 15-foot minotaur in Trophica, if I'm not mistaken, like red fur, the half kilt, and you're kind of just like, you have your hand against the barrier and you're just looking, and you see this hobgoblin figure with an eye patch just kind of looking up at you.
What the shit?
When I'm looking at these, would I know the legality of owning all of these exotic creatures, and more specifically when I get down to these very sentient, comparable, intelligent creatures?
Make a general intelligence check for me. Roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier.
Not great. Well, 16.
16. In terms of legality, the main thing is, if people are going to own animals, pets, or other, usually so long as it's kept in a safe place, if it has the potential of being dangerous, which most animals tend to be dangerous, if it's held responsibly and taken care of responsibly and doesn't get out and cause problems, you're usually okay. Most creatures in this regard are very specialized, and chances are you wouldn't see anything like this unless it was specifically designed to carry these types of creatures. Regarding these two, it is a little off that, I mean, the Minotaur, I would say you're familiar with. It's like, okay, the Minotaur is like a half bull, half man creature, and they're rare and they're somewhat violent and whatnot. But the lion woman, you haven't seen something like this before, and the humanoid shape kind of throws you off a bit.
Is he looking at me?
I'm looking at you.
He's at that point where...
So yeah, okay. If he is looking, I don't know. Are you looking at me?
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Are you looking at
I'm
him?
looking at you.
All right. So yeah, without a word, can I see first thing? Can I see now that the things have been
Everything's opened
revealed?
up.
So I can see Little Flower.
Not quite. You can see into the crowd because it's a long series of caravans. That kind of only slightly curved. You can see some of the caravans up close. That are more at the front, but you know she's there.
Okay. All right. Then I'm just going to get up, stand up. Come on. And anyway.
Your rights, bro. You need to.
Yeah.
Got to.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna just like walk slowly up to this person looking at me, not saying a word, and then just stare him dead in the eyes and just wait for a second, and then just say, "Boo."
Wow. I don't know if this is legal. Okay.
Yeah, the fact that the Minotaur just said a word is like, that's new.
Do you often talk to people? Is that a thing that you... Is that your gimmick in this circus?
I carefully look around, make sure.
I mean,
No
there's
one's-
one of the trainers just a few feet away that you can see that's kind of like just standing at the ready, like near the edge of the caravan. There's one like position for each caravan, and there's obviously Nesbitt's kind of like walking and checking up all the animals, but he's a bit of a few feet away.
Okay.
But you're speaking to this hobgoblin individual, and you do see the trainer just a few feet away.
I don't respond. I just look at him and smirk like, I don't know. I just kind of shrug like,
Oh boy. Well, if you are intelligent enough to speak, I think there might be a legal reason for you to be released from the zoo. If only I knew for sure that you spoke.
You want to pause for a break there real quick?
Sure, we can. We can definitely take our break now if everybody's itching to use the bathroom and whatnot. But we will come back to this momentarily and see how Azazel can muster the law in his favor to free one of our players.
Azazel.
And we will also come back to the other three and see what they're doing in response. We'll be right back.
And yeah, so real quick, in the beginning, you guys heard and saw the intro video, and I just wanted to give credit to where credit's due. So you heard Matthew and Ryan and Sarah killing it on the VOs, and then now we're gonna do a little awesome break video thingy to keep you guys occupied while we're gone for the next 5-ish minutes or so, and that is voiced by the lovely where is it, Dylan, and the real Kayla. We kicked
Not
the
the
fake
fake
one.
one.
Not the fake.
Not the fake one.
We'll be back, guys. Stay tuned. Bye.
Hey, what happened to the stream? Where's the D&D?
Stay tuned, adventurers. We'll be right back.
Oh, I get it. Pee break.
Hey, we're back.
Wow.
Oh, real quick. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We had a big turnout, a lot bigger than expected. So thank you all for the follows, for the subs, and sticking around and being active in chat. We loves you for that. And don't forget that we got the whole thing with Extra Life going on. So if you can swing a donation, it goes directly to that charity, which is Penn State. Yes, the Penn State one. Anyway, I shut up now.
So we're returning back. Azazel was investigating the caravan, the Outlander Zoo, looking at each of the individual animals, and potentially feeling a bit off about two particular ones. And while he debates the moral quandaries and legality of this so-called zoo, what are Zilri, Orn, and Zorl doing? As the three of you are in the crowd, let's say, whether it's been dispersed or otherwise.
I will make my way towards the hobgoblin.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to take my staff out, and before the Goliath walks away, I just want to tap him, poke him in the back, and be like, "Hey, big guy," and see if he turns around.
Sure. What?
I feel like you feel the way I do about these animals here. These creatures shouldn't be contained, in my opinion. And you're a big guy. I feel like maybe you can, maybe we can do something about this, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I don't know what you're thinking, but I am going to do something about this.
By talking, you mean you're gonna go talk to the guy? You're so big, you're so strong. I mean, I feel like you and I together, there's far fewer people watching the back of this caravan than there are watching the front of it. But
what are
maybe
you,
as a team.
What do you mean?
Freedom, man. You know, we gotta
freedom. Yes.
Yeah. Freedom for the creatures, you know, with this no more of this zoo stuff, and being put on display. I feel like these
Oh.
guys aren't going to listen to words. So maybe while they're distracted, we could do
You were
something.
talking about violence.
No, not violence. No, not never violence, my friend. More like freedom. You know that freedom thing we were just talking about a minute ago? You liked that term I used, freedom.
Just reach out and like put my big hand on her shoulder. Be like, it is best not to mince words with me.
Let's break open the cages, buddy.
That is what I thought you were talking about. Okay.
Cool.
Good chat.
Lead the way. You have the plan.
I just want to walk towards the one like farthest away from the head guy talking to Azazel.
Well, you see, so from immediate glance, you can see all the caravans have now been opened up. They are all covered. They all have barriers within them, and each one has a particular creature within. And you do see your prize, right, like near the back middle. But you also see that the prize is also in conversation with the hobgoblin. And Nesbit is slowly kind of making his rounds, checking up on talking to the trainers and checking each individual one as he's making his way towards the hobgoblin. But the front has the furball woman who has stepped off at this moment and is talking to one of the other trainers. I would say from first glance, you could try and pick either end.
How about we start with the lioness chick over there and see how that goes. Maybe she can tell us more about how these mechanisms open.
Okay. Go for it.
I'm gonna let you do the talking. I'll walk here in your shadow, buddy.
I see. Oh. All right. So what am I seeing like with this lion
most of
lady's cage?
Okay, so in the caravan itself with the lion woman, she's currently sitting there, back up against the wall. She's wearing she's got what I forgot to mention was she's got golden mane of fur, like it almost shimmers in the light itself. Feminine figure. She looks somewhat young, and she's wearing like a faded tabard over her shoulders. And she's just kind of sitting there watching. You do see the hobgoblin individual speaking to, or attempting to speak to, the minotaur in the caravan next to it. And Nesbit's coming a little bit closer. He's like maybe about 4 or 5 caravans away.
And the box itself, does it have a like
Door?
hinges, locks,
Yeah.
doors, something?
Make a perception check from like first glance.
23.
23. Looking over, looking at each of the boxes, they're all identical in design. You do see what seems to be some sort of near where the trainer is standing on each one. They're all standing in the same spot. It seems to be there's like a little carved out box section where it looks like there is a part of a glyph. You can't quite see it because it is a bit obscured by the individual, but it looks like a section of a glyph. Orn, what are you doing?
All right, so I'm assuming because I'm being very non-compliant that they're trying to shove me out. I'd like to backtrack far enough that they leave me alone and slip into cover, and then go back and just like wait for a moment of opportunity. So
Okay, make a stealth check for me. And Zoral and Zilri, the guards are still in place, and they are still kind of trying to help shoo everyone away, but there's not a lot of them around.
I rolled a 6.
6.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The 3 boatswain, like kind of they don't throw you, but they kind of like drop you on the ground. It's like, okay, you can just leave now. None of this ruckus. And they kind of like turn to go away. You kind of try and slip back through the crowd. And hey, what did we just say? And you kind of start rushing through and kind of like bumping into people. What are you doing?
I guess at this point, oh my God. I'm a lizard. I'm an angry lizard. Maybe if I can...
Draw deep into your animalistic tendencies.
Yeah. I mean...
What's my motivation?
I just want to knock him out a little, I guess, at this point. I don't even care.
So you're going to attack the guards?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. All right. Which one do you want to attack? Are you attacking the couturier or are you attacking the boatswain? Because they're very different.
Are there...
So,
which one threw me and grabbed me back again?
3 of the boatswain guards. So it's one of them was an orc and 2 of them were human. One of them was a female human and a male human.
I'll start with the humans if I can. If they're are they close to me?
Well, you kind of ran past them as you're trying to sneak back in, but they saw you, so you can, if you want, you can rush back and start fighting them.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them come to me.
Okay, he comes to a standstill in the middle of this dispersing crowd as the 3 boatswain come. What did we say? We said you have to leave here. The gods need you out. Jesus Christ. They're like, okay, they definitely can sense there's an aggression. Oh, man. For them, it's not so much that they have weapons. They literally have like clubs and like bludgeoning items of some kind. One of them looks like he has something akin to like a rolling pin, but it's not really a rolling pin. It's just like some obtuse wooden object with a piece that's sticking out of it. Okay. If you're not going to comply, we're going to make you comply. All right. For all intents and purposes, just to keep order of sequence, I'll get everybody to roll initiative on this one. Nice. Even though this is a fight between Orn and the 3 boatswain, just so it's like I can hit up everybody.
You know what? Let me go ahead and roll.
Yes.
I got
IRL
13.
22.
Oh. Oh.
11.
Sorry?
15.
Damn you, 17.
Trovic?
18.
Let me just quickly roll for these guys. Wow. Rolled terrible. Not bad. Okay, so Azazel. So the order is Azazel, Trovic, one of the guards, Zilri, Orn, Zoral, and then the last 2 guards. So Azazel, you kind of hear this you hear this screeching sound come from behind you as you're contemplating this potential conversation.
Okay, yeah. Using the last few seconds to like formulate exactly what I wanted to do, and knowing that I wanted to look for the large man in leather who was protesting this, and the strange lizard person who was protesting this, I turn and see the strange lizard person squaring up with the guards, and that's not very great. And so I would probably just like try to hustle over there and just be like, okay, nope, we don't want that. And then I'll like try to look at Orn and be like, I can help you, just don't with the fighting right now. This is not a good time.
I will say for this, make a persuasion check. Because it sounds like you're trying to convince her. And I'll say, Orn, make an insight check.
2.
2.
Not gonna be any better. Oh wait, I got a 13.
13. This hobgoblin man comes running over and starts speaking these words of like, "Don't worry, we got this. Don't worry." And you're just like, all you see is just like, "I gotta free the animals. You guys are in my way." Ah! And
Okay,
it just all
makes
falls
sense.
on deaf ears.
Yep.
Zay's like,
All right,
just like,
well-
I didn't get to him.
Yeah, that would have been like the whole turn there. So
All right. Trovik, what are you doing? You are currently confined in this caravan. Unfortunately, you have nothing but the clothes on your back. Is there anything you would like to attempt to do?
Can
As you
Trovik
see-
all of this?
Yeah, you can. At this point, you all can see into the each of the and every one of the caravans. You can see all the creatures that are in each one. And Trovik, you can see everything that's happening out in the waterfront.
Do I see and who would I
You were
see
s-
closest to me?
Well, you have the trainer just a couple feet away from you, near the panel, and you see a couple of the guards. And you were speaking to this hobgoblin, and he rushed over into the middle of the crowd, and you see him like trying to converse with this angry-looking lizard folk individual.
Okay, I'm just gonna look around inside to see if there's any weak points in these like the structure that I'm in.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Okie dokie. 11 minus 1, 10.
10. It seems pretty solid in this place. You've made several attempts to physically bust your way out, but it doesn't seem to be a weak point, whether it be in the barrier or in the actual walls themselves.
Okay, can I try one last thing real quick?
Sure.
I'm going to back up and use my God damn it, Goring Rush, and try to like just put his ram as hard as I can into one of the walls and maybe possibly get it to teeter or whatnot.
Okay. So make Gordon Ram. Make I believe it's make an attack roll for that one.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Natural 20.
Oh.
On the big boys.
Okay. So you kind of like you look around for a moment, don't find anything. You walk back to one end of the caravan because it's more of a rectangular shape. It's more boxy on one side and longer on the other. Come to one end. You think for a moment and said, "Screw it!" You kind of like hoof 1 foot back and just run head first into the wall, and you see a lot. The rest of you kind of hear like this loud crunching noise as you see the wall itself. You found, surprisingly enough, you managed to find that one spot that, after repeated times of smashing your head and your hands, well, you spent enough time hitting it with your fists and your hooves and your body, but you never thought to use your head. And this time, it actually just crunches through as your horns just go through the thing. But now you find that you're stuck. You're stuck for like you're in the wall, and it's kind of now your head is embedded in the wall. The rest of you kind of hear this loud as and the train looks up. Oh my god! And all you see is like whoever can see just 2 horns protruding out the backside of one of the caravans.
Oh, yes.
Appropriate.
One of the guards will go next. He's gonna just try and make a club attack at you. Back to my thing. There you go.
My grappled by the
Does
wall.
an 11 hit? Orn?
At the me, do I roll a d20?
No, it's just your AC. So whatever
Oh,
your
okay,
AC
alright.
number is,
I am a 15.
so it does not hit. So the individual that had the weird obtuse shaped wooden stick, we'll call it, tries to take a whack at you, and you're just like, as you're talking to this hobgoblin, you just swiftly like, and just at the peripherals of your eye, you just see the swing, and he completely flies by, and you say, "Damn it! Stay down!"
Skirt, skirt.
Zilri, you're up. You hear this
Well.
loud crunching noise. You see this lizard folk arguing and getting attacked with this hobgoblin and all these guards.
I'm going to take advantage of the
situation.
chaos and run up to the wall of the cage of the caravan that has the lioness in it and be like, "Hey, gorgeous, if you want out of here, now's your chance. Any way that you know for us to help you out, point to the weak spot in your caravan, just like, you want out, this is your chance." And then I'm just gonna like sort of also like be behind the Goliath at the same time, like, "Hey, if you want out, this is how."
So you're just like peeking behind Zoro, like, "Hey,
Hey, this is your chance. Tell us how to help you out.
Help me.
I'm gonna
help
say-
you.
I'm gonna say, for this, I'm gonna say make a persuasion check, and this is not so much to convince, more so that she hears what you say.
12.
12? You definitely caught the attention of this individual, this lion individual, but with the ruckus and the chaos now ensuing, it doesn't seem as though she heard what you said, but she does look over in your general direction, and as you just said,
Yeah.
is there anything else you would like to do for your turn?
I'm gonna nudge the Goliath guy and be like, "Hey, what's your name again, buddy?"
I am Zoro.
Zorl. Yeah. You think maybe we knock out that trainer guy over there?
I had another idea.
Oh, by all means.
All right.
What do you think?
So that will end your turn for now. Orn, what are you doing? This guy took a club at you and missed.
Did I at any point hear or see this crack in the...
Oh, you definitely heard a crunching sound from behind you somewhere.
Okay.
But your focus is more so like on these three individuals and the hobgoblin right next to you.
Okay, perfect. All right. So he missed me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just one that's coming at me, right? Okay. So
Well, there's three of them that are kind of like getting the three that took you away originally, and you tried to sneak by them and they saw you and they came to try and get you again, but when you started showing aggression, they're like, okay, we're just gonna knock you out or beat you up and take you away later.
Okay. I wanna if this guy came at me and I dodged it, is it
Mhm.
possible that I grab his like arm and I wanna like fling him into the other two guys?
Sure, I'll say for this, roll an attack for an unarmed strike. And it's not so much that you're going to do damage, this is more so you're going to use the individual as the weapon.
Yeah.
Is it just the D8? 1D8?
No, you roll a d20 and add
Oh.
your attack modifier.
Oh, great. Okay. Oh my god. So I rolled a 2,
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
and I think my attack modifier the hit number?
So
Hit.
let me take a quick look.
Yeah.
So 2 plus 6 is 8.
Yes.
So
8.
unfortunately, no. The boatswain, after he swung, you tried to grasp onto his arm, and he quickly like shoves it off, like, nope. So you don't get to
Oof.
get a good grip on him. Is there
That's-
anything? So it does not land the hit, but is there anything you'd like to say or anything else you want to do? Something a little bit more minor?
Yes.
All right.
With words, this one.
That will end your turn for now.
Okay.
Zorl, what are you up to?
How close am I to the
I'll
box
say
with the lion lady?
you're still on the edge of the crowd. You and Zilri, maybe about 40 to 50 feet away. It seems like a lot of the guards are now focusing towards Orn. This lizard folk individual who's starting to fight it, and a few of the other Kutle and guards are like now kind of not so much paying so much attention to you. But I'll say, like, if you want to move up to the caravan, you definitely can. But there is obviously a trainer, an individual standing by each one, and they're kind of just, whoa.
Okay.
They're all focused on different things.
Okay. So I'm walking towards the caravan.
Mhm.
I'm pulling this shield off my back, and as I do, you can see that it's like I described it before. It looks like a big knot of a tree, but it's got these sort of like protrusions or even like spiky bits on the end of it. What looks like a giant bear claw is in my hand right now. So I'm walking towards the caravan, and then I point over at Azazel, the hobgoblin, and I say, "You, Arbiter, make your orders."
Yeah, okay.
And if I can get, I don't think that I have enough movement to get
I would say
up
for the
to
purpose of this,
the...
it's fine. I would say you're able to make it
Yeah.
up to, but as you're approaching, the trainer sees you approaching. He's like, I wouldn't get too close to them. It's like, just please stay back, stay a good few feet away from the caravans. We got this covered.
I will say more to the lion lady and less to him. Move back. And I'm going to take a swing at the box by casting Primal Savagery.
Okay. You take this big knotted club that looks like this giant bear claw. You said, correct?
Oh, yeah. It's a shield, and the bear claw kind of like, as I cast this spell, it gets like more like ragged and rugged, and it's just sort of like the claw parts of it sort of like to extend and sort of like drip with this like acidic sort of liquid as I just punch towards the box.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Okay.
So you take off the shield and you go to smash it or swipe it against this box, and then the individual's just like, ah! He just literally ducks out of the way thinking you were going to strike him.
All right.
What'd you roll?
That is a 23.
Yeah, you definitely... I'll say it's enough that this thing is not meant to be like struck. You smash the box with the glyph on it, and the glyph just breaks and cracks, and you see like this magical energy just kind of like and disperse. And you see the barrier kind of shimmer for a moment and just drops.
As it does, I can look back at Zilri and say, "Freedom."
Freedom's oral freedom,
That's my
yeah,
turn.
man.
No.
The lion woman kind of just, her eyes go wide, and she's like, and she seems speechless at first. So the two guards that are still surrounding Orn, they're gonna make 2 attacks at Orn. So that was, you said 15?
Yeah.
Nope. Both of them miss. So you dodge the first one and try to get him. He kind of like dispatches you, and then the other 2 try and swing 2 clubs at you, but you usually just catch him in your hand and like screech at them and throw them off. They're just like freaked out. At this point, you hear Nesbit kind of call out, "Hey! Don't do that! Don't let him out! Guards! They're trying to break out my animals!" And he's like, you see this little gnomish figure like jumping frantically as you see Zorl. I don't know why I said Zorn. Zorl kind of like smash this small little box in the caravan. Trovik, you hear like the loud boom, and you can kind of see from like just the edges of your caravan itself, the shimmer of that barrier just drop. So Azazel, you hear Zoro call out to you. What do you do now?
Geez, what do I do? You know, I kind of wish they would have hit each other a little bit, but no one took any damage. Okay, so I'm gonna swing back my overcoat and reach into my my large pouch, and I'll mutter to myself, "Does no one do diplomacy anymore these days?" And I will pull out a handful of rose petals that I cast into the air, that then start to shimmer and swirl around. And then, would there be a way that I could center this spell in a way that would only affect the 3 guards, or are they completely surrounding Ornn?
I wouldn't say they're completely surrounding. They're more so facing Ornn. Let's say Ornn's here, and then they're kind of like this.
Okay.
And then you're next to Ornn.
Then I would want to center my spell in a way that it would only affect those 3 guards, but not catch up Ornn in it as I cast Sleep.
Okay.
Ooh, that's not bad. It's 20. So that is 24. So that's the hit point total for Sleep.
I'll say 2 of them immediately kind of just like in mid swing as they get pushed off with the clubs. The 2 that are clubs are like just drop and fall onto the back, as if like this lizard individual just pushed them with all their force and they just dropped and passed out. The other one kind of like for moments just starts rubbing his eyes. Oh god, what the hell? I feel so tired all of a sudden. It's still standing there.
Okay, that's not great, but knowing that those 2 are asleep and hoping Ornn just doesn't like kill them, I will move back towards Nesbit. Probably won't have time to say much, but I would probably just throw out, I hope you know it's illegal to hold sentient creatures, and then that will be the end of the turn.
All right. Trovik, you are currently smashed into you are currently gored into the side of this wall. What do you do next? And you've noticed through like the splinters in the wall itself that there's this Goliath standing in front of Little Flower's caravan, and the shimmer of the barrier drops.
I try to get my horns loose.
Say it's easy enough. You kind of just use all your force and just
and
you crack it a little bit more, and there's now like a bit of a more open eye holes.
Yeah,
you can kind of see through.
Going to ram it again.
All right, make another attack.
Okay, here we go. Big one. Big bucks. No. 19 plus stuff.
All
Natural
of you
19.
Jeez. Yeah, I'd definitely say it's enough. So Zoro, as you're speaking to, as you're calling out to the hobgoblin, you turn around and you see the backside of this caravan that's facing this lion woman just explode as you see 2 large horns break through and then part, at least maybe up to the shoulders, smash through the other side of the caravan. And Trovik, you kind of like go head first in. You look down. Little Flower's just like, ah! And she screams and kind of moves over to the side and sees you. Trovik, what are you doing?
Get in
and you just kind of look at
yeah. Getting the fuck out of here. And yeah. Cause I guess that's my turn, right?
Sure. She kind of gets up. We gotta, and she kind of she starts speaking to you, Zoro. We have to get him out of this hole in the wall.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who get what out of the hole of the wall?
So
what?
Little
Oh,
Flower
my?
speaks. Little
Right.
Flower speaks to Zoro and says,
Oh.
"We have to get him out of this hole in the wall that you've just now cemented yourself into."
Okay. Yeah.
Guard 3 is asleep. So Zilri, what are you doing?
Oh man. I wanna walk past Zorl and pat him on the shoulder and be like, "Good work, big guy." And then I still am trying to appeal to the lion lady. And now that I see half the
Minotaur through the other side of the caravan.
through the other side of the caravan, I'm still trying to appeal to her and being like, let us help you. Let us help you. Let us help you and your friend. And I gesture like at the guy stuck in the wall.
I gladly accept the help. We gotta get him out before the trainers, before they all start getting in our way.
How do we open these cages? Do you know how to open them?
And she kind of points to the console that now is smashed in and kind of also still slightly sizzling from Zorl's attack. The consoles unlock each of the barriers.
Consoles. Can I investigate how it looks?
Sure, I'll let you. Well, are you trying to read the console or are you trying to just take a look at it?
I'm wondering if he broke it.
The one to this lion lady's caravan is open and it's broken, but the one to the Minotaur is still intact. It's just he came through his into hers and is now kind of like partially in between the two.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness, this is not my forte. I'm just gonna like move some of the broken pieces around in theirs and be like, maybe someone else can help us with this. Zorl?
All right. So we'll move on to Orin. What are you doing in this instance? You see these two guards just drop, and one still kind of like starts rubbing his eyes. And there's a couple of petals in the air that are kind of just coming to the ground.
I look a little confused at the sleeping bodies. Like, turn my head, kick it a little. Doesn't look like they're moving. I turn around and I look to see what is going on. I see a Minotaur. And then the other creatures. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is try and help. So like, did you just re-explain how he's situated?
Yeah, so he was in his caravan. He broke through one side and was able. There's maybe about almost a 2-foot gap between each caravan where they're linked. He broke through his and then broke into the one next to his, and there's about maybe up to his shoulders just sticking through and hanging in the wall. You can see he's still standing on his feet. He's fairly tall. He's about maybe 15 feet tall. But like, you can only see maybe waist down from one caravan. You see part of his arm and his upper mid body in between, and then his head and his shoulder sticking out the other side. So in other words, he's between two caravans.
Okay, I think I definitely want to help him since Orin feels like that's the one that needs it the most at the moment. So I ran over, and I suppose the barricades are weak. Maybe I'll just punch it.
Okay.
Near him.
You punch. I'll say for this, if you're gonna try and punch the barrier you just hear it's almost like it muffles the sound itself, and it feels hard and sturdy.
I only got punches and bites, so I'm gonna try it.
For this, even with all your strength, you wouldn't be able to break it through. You punch it a couple times, you claw
He's
it.
between two barriers. Like, I can't just yank him out.
He's between two sections of, essentially the wooden sections of the caravans. The barriers are on the adjacent sides, for like the viewing side, we'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it like a train. How there's the window seats, that's where the barriers are, but the middle section or the front section and the back section where the cars link,
yeah,
and you can sometimes pass between the trains, He's stuck in between that section there.
Is Orin near me and Zoral? Like, do we see a lizard just suddenly come out of nowhere and attack the side of this?
Yeah, the two of you look over and you see this lizard person just start clawing at the bear.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because it's my lizard brain can't think of anything else. I help.
All right, Zoral, you see this lizard person kind of just come up and start clawing at the barrier next to you, and you see the Minotaur obviously sticking out between the two segments of the caravan. And whether or not be a surprise to you, this lion woman has spoken.
So it's my turn now?
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying. So seeing him bust through the wall there, I will sort of call out and say, "You see, they do not belong here." And then I will like reach my shield back and do the same thing to his console.
Okay.
Deal there, or like well, you said like the in between part of each like crate is like wood, right?
Yeah, it's more of like it is a wooden caravan. It's just
Okay.
there is a magical barrier that when they open these wooden sliding doors, the creatures can't get out because it is an open piece.
Right. Would I be able to attack the wall that he's stuck in?
Sure. Make an attack roll. It's already a weakened wall.
Okay. So, same deal. Primal Savagery.
Okay.
Oh, but that's a natural 1.
Oof.
You do the same thing, and you. I'm not that bad. You strike at the wall, splintering. That splinters around this Minotaur, and the acid kind of burns at it a little bit, but it's solid enough that somehow it deters your magical attack, but not enough to be deterred this blunt force trauma from this Minotaur.
Turn once again to Zilri and be like, "So what's your plan?"
It's so funny because like I try to help her and then I'm like tinkering around in this broken box. A lizard comes out of nowhere and attacks the wall. And then he's like, "I'm gonna try smashing this," and then misses. And I'm like, "My plan?" Is it? I don't even know if it's my turn.
No, technically it's actually one of the guards that is asleep and the last one that's still awake. He's like, "Hey!" And he's starting to rush past you, Azazel. If you want, you can take an opportunity attack against.
I don't think that would look very good.
I don't think it would.
So I'm gonna say probably not on this one.
All right. He kind of rushes past up to. He rushes up past to. To Orn. And tries to grab Orn. So I'm gonna say, Orn, you can make an acrobatics or an athletics against this boatswain's athletics.
I've got a 13.
Ooh, that was a tie. We gotta roll again.
Ooh.
Roll
I have
off.
a 15.
I rolled a 2. So he tries to grab you, and you clutch him back, and you're kind of like gripping each other and push each other off. He tries to go underneath, but you kind of just push him down on the ground, and you kind of just stomp on him. You kind of like a quick, use your tail to like elevate you and just stomp on his back. He's like, "Oh!" No, you're just standing on top of him, and you kind of move over. At this point, the guard, all the other boatswain and the couturier, all are just seeing all this happen, and they all start moving and hey, and they all start freaking out. And you see some of the couturier, they don't draw any weapons. They specifically have like their hands on their weapons, and you can see the main difference between them and the boatswain. The boatswain look like just general individuals, and all they have are like clubs or whatever they could muster, and they're kind of wearing some similar clothing. The couturier, and Azazel, you know this, they are wearing like this very almost high-tech looking metallic armor. It's turquoise, almost teal in color, and it's and the weapons that they hold are almost like these small little pieces of metal. They look like hilts or grips. A lot of them are different, but Azazel, you know, this is a specific type of gear that only the couturier own. It's magical in nature, can withstand a lot of blunt force trauma, and the weapons they wield are almost kinetic magic weapons themselves. Think of like, yeah, I guess you could say like lightsabers for long swords, but they also use things like glaives, battle axes, and they kind of just they take the shape of the weapon itself, but it's just pure energy. So they're at the ready waiting, but it's one of those, they don't like using it because chances are they will kill you with it. But the boatswain start pulling all their clubs and everything out, and they're moving in to like starting to surround the rest of you. There's like 6 or 7 of them. Ooh. And you can see the crowd at this point is just like, a lot of people are just like shouting and cheering. And it's like, yeah, because they and Orn, you know this is just, they just think it's like another good scrap going on, so they're like, yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So if we go to the top of the round, Azazel, it is your turn. You see the couturier are at the ready. They're refraining, but you know they won't hesitate if they don't need to. The boatswain are already moving in with clubs and whatever makeshift weapons they have, and you see everything displayed in front of you. Nesbit is like freaking out. And a lot of the other trainers, some of them are moving back, but some of them are kind of like at the ready in case they need to jump in and do something, but none of them are holding any weapons or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I will position myself in between Nesbit and this strange collection of people assaulting the caravans. And back towards Nesbit, I will grab the hilt of my short sword, and then I will turn to Nesbit and as succinctly as I can carry in 6 seconds say, I have heard both the Minotaur and this Lion Lady speak. It is illegal to have sentient creatures under this sort of near slavery. If you release them now, we will let you move on, and I will use whatever law I can to keep you safe.
He's lost for words. He doesn't know. He's not even sure how to respond to you. What?
Release them now.
I'll let you make the choice, either a persuasion or an intimidation check.
Well, it's the same modifier, so
okay. So
I guess we'll go for intimidation because I'm super scary. Okay. This is
Not
tricky.
Scary enough.
So I rolled a 15.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if that is not good enough to succeed. There is a thing I can do.
Okay. So your total is 15?
Yeah.
I would say there's this clowny looking gnome looking up at you, seeing the disaster of his caravan being attacked, all these guards swarming in and these random people attacking his caravan, looks up and sees you holding, ready to grab your short sword or whatever weapon's on your back, and you're a scary looking hobgoblin with an eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
Stop! Everybody stop! And he's just like screaming. Fine! But fine, I'll do whatever you say. I'll do whatever you want. Just, that's all on you. And he kind of points to now, like, obviously all the guards are now swarming the 4 of you. But that's up to you. I can't stop that. I'm not a guard. I'm not an official. But fine, I'll do as you want.
I'll handle it.
You have you have the you've convinced Nesbit, but how do you want to address the actual situation, the conflict ahead in front of you?
Current chaos happening.
Yeah. I don't know how much time I would have, because that would probably was my action to do that.
This is more of an informal combat. It's just the initiative so that we can kind of keep pace of everybody. But if you have anything else you want to say, I can definitely say in a matter of a few seconds more.
Well, because what I would want to do then, after hearing his approval, is I would want to run up to the cart
rest of
that everyone else is trying to attack.
Okay.
And
yeah, you definitely.
As I run towards it, I would want to pull out my short sword that starts to sort of hum almost, and stab towards it and cast Booming Blade.
What's your target?
The actual cart, the general area that they were attacking, because I'm assuming that they're attacking whatever they're hoping would deactivate it. I'm assuming they're knowing what they're doing.
You saw, from like turning around and quickly seeing, you see that the Goliath, the half elf, and the lizard are being surrounded by a bunch of guards. The lion woman's there, and then as you're running closer, you can see the Minotaur obviously protruding through two caravans itself. With a quick glance, you can see like a smashed box on the one where the lion woman was being held. So I would say your initial thought process is to smash the other box.
Yeah, then I'm smashing the box with Booming Blade.
Okay, so make an attack roll.
Somebody once told me.
That's not great. 11.
11? Yeah, it's easy enough to hit. It's just a fixed console. if you rolled under 10, then we'd have problems. It'd be like, yeah, you missed. You hit the barriers then. But you smash the second box to this other caravan, and the barrier begins to and drops. The Minotaur is still stuck between the two caravans, but
oh sure,
the rest of you see the hobgoblin come in, and then the boatswain they kind of like they keep approaching slowly, but the Coutelier, you see the odd look on their face, like, what? Hold up! And one of them calls out, "Oh, Couture, what are you doing?"
We've come to an agreement.
All right. And what of the attackers? What of this whole scene, this violent outburst?
I will handle them personally, I think, unless I am not very good at first impressions, that they might be of use to the case I'm currently working.
He is Batman. Fucking knew it.
I'll say
I wasn't gonna be morally gray. You guys made it that way.
Yeah.
All right, Trova, you're stuck in this wall. You're stuck in two walls, actually. Is there anything you want to do?
Get the fuck
out.
Know.
Okay, Little Flower is trying to like push you head first back into the wall.
No. I need to go your direction.
No, you have to go back the way you came in. She's gonna try. I'll say.
But the bigger part of me is already through. I get the little part.
If you're like being counterproductive, I'll say roll a strength check, general strength check against hers.
Okay, 16 plus 3, 19.
19. Okay, so I rolled a 16. So she's just like, she's trying to push you head first in at first, but then you're like, no. Your hands kind of like make their way between the two sections of the caravans, and you're starting to slowly push yourself more forward. And she's like, Traffic, no!
But just let it happen.
And you kind of like inch your way through, and at this point now you're at your biceps, but now your legs are kind of up and dangling on the other side of it.
All right.
The rest of the guards, they kind of back off. They back off for a moment, but they're still weapons at the ready, and they're waiting. The boatswain are.
No.
They don't know what to do. The Coutelier are definitely listening to Azazel, as there is a, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say camaraderie, but there's an officiate talking to other officiates, and they're like, and you do have a bit of a higher rank than they do. So they're like, okay, but this is still at hand. So Zilri, is there anything you want to do? Sorry.
Yeah.
I saw that comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Excuse me.
Oh Jesus! All you hear in the background is just a.
I mean, if you have nothing in mind, you could always just say, I'm just gonna watch.
I'm torn between because his legs are sticking up at this point, like out, right?
He pulled himself a little bit more forward, and at that point, his waist is partially through, so that means his legs had to kind of come up a bit.
Yeah.
So I can see his legs in between the two caravans.
You can see his waist. You can see his waist. His legs are still on the other side.
He's Elastigirl.
Yes, Elastigirl from that one scene.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I think Zilri, I was torn between like literally just helping him pull himself into the other side, but I think I'm gonna walk up to Azazel and be like, you sound like you're in charge and you're on our side now. You're gonna help these guys get out. Do you have a key? Can you unlock a door? This guy is literally inchworming his way into her cage right now.
I feel like we're in a fishhook situation. You just gotta push it the rest of the way through.
Oh god.
So I pull up my sleeves and go, all right. And walk between the two caravans.
All right, you want to try and pull Trovik out?
Not trying to pull him out. I'm gonna try to push him into her cage all the way.
Okay,
so that he's not in between the two anymore.
I know there's like an order of operations, but I would have done that too if I'm like right there anyway.
Yeah,
Is it possible
to
do it together?
I mean, at this well, you're next
his
anyways,
pants and,
but
like,
I figure at this point, after that whole shouting and commanding of Azazel, there is like a bit of a standstill. They don't do anything. Like, say we can kind of roll out of initiative on this one. And so like between Zilri, Orn, and this lion woman, they pull Trovik through the hole, and you kind of free yourself and kind of like collide on the floor. It's like maybe 5 feet up in the air. You just get up, dust yourself off like it was nobody's business. You are all still surrounded. All the trainers and all the individuals that were part of Nesbitt's staff, they're all kind of like off to the side. They're all still keeping an eye on the rest of the animals that are caged in their caravans. Some of them have started kind of being a little bit antsy and rowdy, and they're just trying to keep them calm. But Nesbitt kind of walks over.
Well, now what? You've damaged 2 of my caravans.
Maybe you can give us this one that has these 2 creatures in it, since it's already broken.
Like, I'm not gonna give them to you. I'm giving it, and he kind of gestures to Azazel. The Leonin and the Minotaur are now the property of this guy, who seems to be able to tell everybody what to do here. So, yeah, I got nothing else.
Suddenly,
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure
my
I just
elbow
told you
over
they're
his
not
shoulder.
property.
Whatever. I'm sorry. Okay. Just get.
Okay. Yep.
Is everything cool? Is everything great? Is everything fantastic? Now can I get my remaining zoo and see myself away from here very fast and very far?
Yes, very fast and very far. Do that.
Great.
And I'll extend my hand for a handshake.
He kind of looks at you.
Really?
All right, and he kind of just shakes your hand, almost begrudgingly.
Yeah.
The rest of the guards kind of like the Coutelier kind of lax a bit, they still all look very confused. The boatsmen are just like, what? Goddamn government guards. And they all start just like dispersing.
You're the feds. They're
Yeah,
local police and you're the feds.
Yeah.
Nice.
Put it this way, the boatswain are the local police for this particular town. They are only found in this town, whereas the coutelier are like the entire you could almost say like they're the FBI of
The feds.
of the entire country. You will find them everywhere. But the coutelier still they're still there, and actually a couple more end up coming too. So now you have like almost 2 squads worth of guards just kind of controlling the crowd a little bit more, as a lot of the people are like dispersing now. You do see a few disgruntled individuals like, I was expecting a better fight than this, and they all start going back to their stalls, but majority of them are starting to head down the streets, and what you gather, they're all starting to head towards the bars.
Nice.
But at this point, Nesbit starts barking orders at the rest of his staff.
Okay, take rid of these carts. They're useless now. They're damaged. They're broken. We don't need them. Unhitch them. Connect these other 2 back, and let's get the hell out of here.
And you see him kind of like hobble back to the front of the lead car, kind of climbs up into the thing and slams the door. You see the rest of the trainers are slowly starting to unhitch those 2 specific wagons. And they're like guiding there was another 3 behind Trovik's cage. And they start shifting everything out of the way, and even some of the guards are helping them and whatnot. But for the time being, you guys, it's the 5 of you standing in the middle of the square plus this lion lady.
Okay.
I have my elbow leaning on Azazel's shoulder, like, so you're in charge of these guys now?
I don't know who you are.
The name's Zilri. This a friend of friends. You know, I've been in Samyaza for some weeks now, but you really handled that situation really well. And you seem like a proponent for freedom, like myself.
And you seem like a liar. Would you like to go? Just base call off the top of my head. I'm going to go address the coutelier. If you want to stick around, if you want to help me out, help these people out, then hey, stick around. It might be fun. You're a lot better with words than I am. I'm just a bit more perceptive. I rolled really high on like my own little insight check. Sorry.
How far is Zilri's jaw from the floor?
Well, the question is, Zilri, were you lying or were you playing?
I was just like, that was a general, how do I read this person's character?
Oh, okay. So, Zilri, you can take that as you so choose. Whether you felt it was accurate on the nose or whether it was farthest from what you were trying to get at. Just stunned. All right, I'll take that as your answer. Zilri is shocked.
Yeah. Speechless.
Taylor, are you okay?
Did we break her?
I literally, Zilri doesn't know what to do.
Right.
Like, I did take my elbow off of his shoulder very slowly, though.
You are just dumbfounded.
You're doing the
You have
James
no
Franco.
response.
Yeah, you quickly gather, not the trustworthy type.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
He doesn't like trusting.
Yeah. I'll just be over here.
Okay, are the couteliers still gathered up here?
Yeah, they're still around. They're still they're staying within the area just in case. They kind of like warded off this small little bubble, we'll say, with you and the others, though they're still kind of unsure of what to do. They're just like, okay, you know what, just keep the peace for now, keep the people away, and then we'll address this whole situation.
Yeah, I'll find like a squad leader or a captain or whoever one of the more higher ranking people are, and essentially just say, This was a very odd situation. I apologize for that. These individuals are people of interest for this particular case I'm working on. I'll try my best to keep them out of any more trouble. If any more trouble should arise or anything else, let me know. We can talk at this at length. If any sort of reparations are needed for this incident, ask the Coutelier and Sarandan to dock my pay. I'll... It's fine.
I'll say the one you're talking to was the same elven man from before. I'll say make a persuasion with advantage.
14.
14. I'll say it's enough. It's enough to convince him that, okay, we won't. He responds, okay. Well, I mean, if they're under your charge now, that's fine. I think we'll, just for the sake of you and I and the rest of the Coutelier, maybe we'll just keep an eye on them. I get the vibe that they're not the brightest bunch or the most trusted bunch. Not it, and then he kind of like looks over to the group. It's not every day you see a Goliath, a Minotaur. You know what? There's too many variables there. I'll leave that to you, Uncle
Very
Tor.
weird. Well, yes, do keep an eye out. Let me know if there's any issues. Thank you very much.
Understood. And he kind of like, he starts going to some of them and start calling them, and they kind of slowly start dispersing. But some of them don't get too far away, and they're staying within at least eyesight of you and them, as you feel as though the Coutelier may not trust these individuals. They trust you, but maybe not so much them.
I let out a large exhale walking back to this group.
The rest of you see the Hobgoblin man speaking to the guards, and eventually all the guards start dispersing. Any of you want to say or do anything? It's this female lion woman. She kind of, or the Leonin, is kind of like sighing. She's like, I guess it worked this time. And I guess half your plan worked. Smash your way out, but nobody died. That's always the good thing.
I drop to one knee and I ruffle my fingers through her mane, and I say,
Kind of gives you this like disgruntled look. I hate it when you do that. It takes me forever to put
under the chin.
Okay, I don't mind that one so much.
And I'd say,
Orin is crept over and is just sniffing them because she thinks they smell tasty, but's not gonna eat them.
There's definitely a different scent you pick up on these two. Mostly like body odor, but just the elements of the whatever wind has like whatever has been caught on their fur because they're both furred. Whatever scents you pick up that are like bits of like exotic lands of some kind, different plants.
I'll go up to the three of them, and just go, you speak. Do you have names?
I'll pat the little flounder on the head and stand up and turn to the big Goliath, and probably about same height, and say, this one is Trovik. This little one here is Little Flower.
Actually, my name is Doxia, but yes, he calls me Little Flower.
It is dandelion joke.
It is a poor joke, but whatever makes him happy.
And you have a name? Addressing Orin.
You're gonna lose your voice?
I am Zoral. the Thorn clan in the mountains. I am happy to help you all. It seems that the silver-tongued person over there has an interest in your freedom as well. And the Arbiter has spoken of our safety. I think that he's coming now to speak with us. But will you continue to stand with us?
You will give us freedom, then Trovik will stand with you for now, yes. But first, Trovik need to find X. Then we go murder entire caravan of zoo people.
Trovik, no, there's no murder. We're not gonna murder all the other animals.
Yes,
Perhaps.
I like this one.
I mean, they do need to answer for their crimes. It is wrong. It's
Upon
just wrong.
hearing the kind of tail end of that, I'd probably walk back into the group and say, unfortunately, you'll find the laws of man very often do break the laws of nature. Well,
you are the Arbiter. You know the laws of this land?
Learning law was a lot of my principal training growing up, I suppose. I should probably properly introduce myself to you lot. My name is Azazel Starflower. I'm an encontour from the capital city of Sarandan. I'm currently investigating cases of unidentified but surely dangerous beasts. You lot are interesting and very lucky that there were not people that outranked me here today, because they would not want to see you walking around. But this town's already fairly loose with its laws. I would like your help in this case that I'm looking at. I think all of you have some sort of expertise, or maybe even a personal bargain in what I'm looking into. And then I'll look at Zilri, the only person in this group I can really look eye to eye to. And as for you, I apologize that I called you a liar. I was very stressed, and finding liars is sort of what I do. I'm in on couture, that's my whole thing. But being a liar doesn't make you a bad person.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, I appreciate that, Azazel. And if I'm not mistaken, Azazel, if I'm not mistaken, Orn, Trovik, and Little Flower are still in a thing. There's a huge hole from his body, and we're like Azazel, Zoral, and me are outside of the.
No, you were able to pull Trovik out of the hole he made, and you're all conversing with each other within like a small little group.
Oh, okay. So I'll be like, yeah, Azazel, I didn't take the liar comment to heart. I'm a good person. I'm here to help you, and I believe mostly in freedom. And then I'm just gonna slowly shimmy over to next to Trovik and go, the name's Zilri.
I look at her hand and put out my hand and grab her arm, like, yeah. Like, it is Trovik's pleasure to meet thee.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, big guy.
This is Little Flower.
Are you guys okay? Little Flower, are you okay?
Tired, but happy finally that I am out of that cage. Happy that we're out of that cage.
Yes, we're kind of a team.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. What if I'm curious. While it is technically legal to own creatures of a certain intelligence, sentience, and ability to speak, almost immediately outlaw the ability to own someone. So I'm curious as to why that never came up with you two.
Well, it's a little bit more simply put with Trovik, and she points to Trovik. From what I understand, Minotaurs are mindless, savage creatures. So the fact that he can talk apparently is a big deal. But for someone like myself, I'm a Leonin. Not an animal. I may look like, well, some of your world's creatures. I think it was called a lion. Yeah, I'm from the Feywild. I'm not from this place.
Oh,
I pat her on the head again. Little
You don't have
flower.
to do that.
She sometimes get confused. I think Minotaur is another word for orc. Clearly, I am orc, and
Yeah, that was
I'm
another thing I
from
was gonna get to.
Orc tribe. This is where family Trovik come from. Clearly,
See the orcishness, Trovik. I do.
all right, big, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
He was raised by apparently a tribe, clan, a war-faring community. She kind of like cocks her head, thinks for a moment. He was raised by a family of orcs.
Yeah.
And they taught him how to maim, murder, and pillage. So I'm trying to, in our time together, I've been trying to get him to tone it down a bit.
He just does one of these.
yeah, well, we certainly pick up a lot from our environments growing up, don't we? All right. Well, you all are free to do as you wish, but if you break the law, I will be getting in trouble, so don't do that. I do not need the undressing of my career. However, I would very much appreciate the help.
No, you can keep clothes on. It is okay.
Oh, thank you.
Good. I like this one.
So
You helped us, and I would help you. You mentioned strange beasts, and I am very curious about that myself.
All right. Well then, how about we call it a night and pick up in the morning.
You all kind of bring the conversation to a close as the two caravans are shifted out. The two broken caravans are shifted out of the way by the Coutelier and some of the trainers. They reattach the other ones to it, and the long train. Let's get the hell out of this town! I'm sick of this place! As you hear Nesbit as the caravan begins to ride off down the cobblestone, kind of shifting around other people as they tend to leave Semyaza. And that's where we will end today's session.
Wow!
Oh my god.
Nice.
Well done, Dungeon Master.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Wow.
Great.
Zorro's laugh at the end fucking broke me, man.
yeah, it did.
It
Big
took
old
everything
mountain
not
boy.
to just pee my pants on that part, but
Oh.
wow.
So yeah, this is the beginning of what's to come, hopefully.
Super
But it's only
dope.
just the start. Now that
Yes.
you've all met each other, let's see where things go and how you decide to work together.
Yes.
Skirt,
Yes.
skirt.
So yeah,
It's all about the yeet.
it's all about
You
the
guys all have one more legal bailout. I can only
You
do
will
so
need
much,
it.
man.
I'm. You know what? You leaned on that really hard, and that pretty much saved everyone's asses.
That was pretty dope.
Thank goodness, too.
Because, not gonna lie, I was really wondering. I'm like, okay, there's maybe about at least 20 guards here, and a lot of them could kill them all in about one shot, maybe.
Yep.
How are they gonna get out of this? No,
I wasn't about to swing on them.
It's like, I'm gonna use I'm an official badge.
Yeah,
That works.
I thought you were gonna
Yep.
like Bruce Wayne the situation and just be like, "Here, I just bought your entire caravan. Now leave."
I don't have that much money, man. I spent it all on magic stuff. Spell stuff is expensive.
What an amazing
Cool.
first session. I loved it.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, if you guys want, we can talk a little bit more about it after the credits, I guess. It's up to you guys.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
Anything you were curious about that I can tell you?
Well, let me wrap this up and thank everybody. So, hey, face, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight, and God, that was awesome. Thank you so much for the follows, for the subs, and for everybody being active in chat. Thank you, Matthew, for putting this together for us, and thank you to all of you guys for joining.
All of the players here.
Yes.
Partaking in this fun little endeavor I've put together.
Indeed. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't forget we're doing the thing for Extra Life, so you can always visit our channel even when we're offline and just click the link to donate to help that charity. And keep your alerts lit up because we got this Thursday, a new Horizon is coming back with some familiar and new faces. So we'll be picking back up from where we left off about a month and a half ago from that. Almost 2 months ago. Yeesh. So, skirt, skirt, eat, eat. Anyway. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Be good to each other. Be awesome. And breed hate with love. Bye! Woo!